On the first day of organic chemistry, Professor Mitchell looked at my name on the attendance sheet and said, "Let's just call you Amy. Much easier. Trust me, you'll thank me when you're applying for jobs." When I won the department's chemistry award that my parents drove 3 hours to see, he announced it as Amy. Sorry, Adya, or however you say it. Then I discovered his real name was Dr. Richard Mitchell Sullivan Kowalski, and he'd been hiding it because it was too much of a mouthful for his career. My name is Adya. It means first or beginning in Sanskrit. Beautiful, right? Well, not to Professor Mitchell. First day of organic chemistry, he called attendance, stumbling dramatically when he reached my name. Admiral, you know what? Let's just call you Amy. Much easier. The class laughed. I corrected him politely. It's Adya. Adya. He waved his hand dismissively like he was swatting away a fly. Amy works better. Trust me, you'll thank me when you're applying for jobs. Every single class. Amy, what's the answer? Amy, come write this on the board. When I'd correct him, he'd make the same tired joke about how in America, we keep things simple, as if my name was some burden he had to bear 3 times a week. By week 3, he'd upgraded his routine. You know, I had a dog named something like that once. Audi? Audio? More laughs from the pre-meds who knew better than to risk their recommendation letters. He'd pretend to struggle dramatically whenever he saw my name on assignments, holding the paper at arm's length. These names are getting so complicated. Whatever happened to good old Sarah and Jennifer? I recorded everything on my phone. Every comment, every joke. Every time he'd lean against his desk and tell me I should consider a professional name for my future career because patients need names they can pronounce. The worst part? I was his best student. Perfect scores on every exam. Always prepared with insightful questions. Always first to volunteer for demonstrations. But during a lab review with visiting faculty from Harvard, he introduced me as Amy, one of our brightest, despite the communication barrier. I don't have a communication barrier. I was born in Chicago and graduated valedictorian. When I won the department's chemistry award that my parents had driven 3 hours to see me receive, he announced it as Amy. Sorry, Adya, or however you say it. My mother, who spent my childhood teaching me to be proud of my name, looked like she'd been slapped. My father's jaw clenched the way it does when he's trying not to say something he'll regret. That's when I decided I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. I started researching Professor Mitchell like he was my thesis project, spending hours in the library archives. Turns out his full name was Dr. Richard Mitchell Sullivan Kowalski. The man mocking my name was hiding behind Mitchell because Sullivan Kowalski was too much of a mouthful for his career, according to an old faculty newsletter. The hypocrisy was delicious. I dug deeper into his publications and conference presentations from decades ago, and then I found it. Gold. 3 of his early papers from 1998 had suspiciously similar data to another researcher's work. Graphs nearly identical except for minor label changes. Not quite plagiarism, but dancing on the line in a way that would have been overlooked in the 90s. The kind of thing that would absolutely destroy a career in 2024. Better yet, that researcher he'd borrowed from, Dr. Amit Patel. Mitchell had been very careful to never cite him properly, always burying the references or leaving them out entirely. I spent weeks crafting the perfect plan, meticulous as any lab experiment. Mitchell was up for a huge NSF grant, the kind that would fund his lab for the next decade and cement his legacy, the kind that required extensive review of past work. I created an anonymous Twitter account, started small with posts about citing international researchers properly and how science benefits from diverse perspectives, built a following. Then I posted about professors who Americanize names without consent, stripping students of their identities for convenience. It went mini viral in academic Twitter. The week before his grant review, I started phase 2. I posted, "Interesting how some data in Mitchell R. 1998 mirrors Patel A. 1997. See figures 3 and 4. Academic Twitter loves a good plagiarism